Tom, what were some of your chores or responsibilities when you were growing up?
Well, supplying wood and water, that was the biggest thing. That's what I did. We used to haul water. Every day we'd have to haul water because you couldn't keep it overnight because it would freeze in winter. You can't keep a fire going all night, because people sleep. So as soon as the fire going out and it started to get cold, and it got cold enough so that they would freeze. The water would freeze in the pails. So again, in the morning you'd have to go get water, and you'd have to keep that tramboir open because it freezes into it, and it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Finally, you can't get your pail in there. You have to use a little dipper, but you got to keep it open all the time. The other one is hauling wood, I guess chopping wood. We had a saw, what we call a Swede saw. It's like a bow, that saw. And we had these, wood was not very big. Maybe the biggest one would be about that big that, we could haul. So that's what we would saw. It's jack pine or spruce. Spruce burnt really fast, and it was easy to start, but it didn't throw a lot of heat, not like jack pine. And the other wood that really threw a lot of heat was poplar, white poplar, and they call it bannock wood because that's what they used to cook bannock in, because it threw a lot of heat. So that's basically all I ever did, and of course snaring, and maybe duck hunting in the summertime, hunting small game. Those were my things, and the rest of the time, well, it was to myself. If I wasn't going to school, we'd spend a lot of time in the water, in the lake, swimming, in the summertime. But in winter, we'd go sliding. We made our own sleighs out of wood. Every once in a while, we'd find little strips of metal, and we'd nail them in the bottom of the ski so it could slide further. So basically, yeah, those hauling wood and hauling water, that's the chores that I did. I didn't do anything else. My mom did most of the things inside the house, cooking and stuff like that. And my dad supplied what he needed to in terms of meat. And in wintertime, you could have a lot of meat because it froze. You could keep it in a shed and it would freeze. Nobody'd steal off you. Somebody needed something, they'd come and ask you. Saw off a chunk with a sweet saw and give them that meat and whatever that they needed. In the summertime, they smoked the meat. They made what we call jerky today. It's what we call it was kakiwak, and that's that smoked meat. And then they would take it another step, and they'd pound it, and take all the fibers out. Then all you have is a bundle of meat, pure meat with no fiber, nothing. And you call it iwahiganak. That's what we call it. That's the third stage. And the fourth stage, they'd mix it with moose grease. Moose grease was hard. It hardens like tallow. So we mix it with that, and sometimes they put choke cherries in it to give it a different flavor. And that's what they call pemmican. But it's pimihikan is how you say it properly. So there's those four stages, and it would keep forever. It wouldn't spoil. It would never spoil.
Pemihikan.
Pimihikan, yeah. Pimihikan. But people say pemmican.
Yeah.
Can't say it properly. So yeah, basically that's and I'd go. That's right too. I'd go and haul wood, and saw wood and haul water for my grandmother. Yeah, and then if she needed help of any kind, she went to the store. I'd have to pack the groceries home for her. And then she'd tell us stories. That's in exchange. So he'd tell us incredible legends. And of course she'd cook for us too, and make us soup, bannock, and we'd all sit down after we ate, and she'd be telling us her stories.
Is there one story that stands out to you?
Yes, there is. It's a Cree creation story. It's called Chichtipstugwan, or Rolling Head. And I shared that. I think it's when we were in Victoria. I shared that story, and it's about a family who lived a long time ago. There was a mother, father, and two sons. The mother's name was Wapimegwan, which means white feather, and the father's name was Tawaham, which means you hit the bullseye, or balance. Could mean balance. And Wisakitsak was the oldest brother, and the younger brother was Wim Suso. So just. Did you want me to tell a little bit about it, or?
Sure. Do you want to?
Yeah. Then you won't. Don't you need to stop that?
I can. Yeah.
Yeah.